They used to say that Mr. Magnus Deramola did not walk. He arrived when his black convoy turned into the glass gates of Zion Crest Holdings. Conversations died. Phones slipped into pockets. Laughter froze halfway. Even the air conditioning seemed to breathe softer. Magnus was not just a CEO. He was a statement. Tall, broad-shouldered, always in dark suits that cost more than some people's yearly salary. His beard was always trimmed like discipline itself. His wristwatch alone could build a borehole in a village. And his mouth, Lord, that mouth had no fear of God or man. God is for the weak, he once said during a board meeting, sipping imported water like wine. Religion is a crutch for people who cannot think. Some people laughed nervously. Some nodded because their jobs depended on it. Some swallowed their faith like hot Gary and kept quiet. But Magnus noticed everything. He noticed who bowed their heads during lunch. He noticed who whispered prayers before presentations. He noticed who refused to stay late on Sundays because of church. And slowly, quietly, like a hunter setting traps, he began to clean his house. It started like rain, small drops. First was Mama Kemi, the receptionist who had worked there since the company was just 2 desks and 1 generator. She always played gospel softly at her desk. One Monday morning, HR called her. Restructuring, they said. Next was Joseph, the IT guy who never hid his faith. His laptop screensaver quoted scriptures. Redundancy, they said. Then Aisha, the accountant who prayed during lunch breaks. Performance issues, they said. Soon a pattern became a proverb. If you believed in God and did not hide it, you would not last long under Magnus. People began to adjust. Bible apps were deleted. Cross necklaces disappeared. Prayer meetings stopped. Faith went underground. Because in Zion Crest Holdings, Magnus was God, and he enjoyed it. The DAY he mocked, Heaven the company hit a historic milestone. Its biggest profit ever. There was a grand celebration. Champagne flowed like palm wine at a wedding. Music filled the glass hall. The company logo glowed behind Magnus as he took the microphone. He smiled, the smile of a man who thought he had climbed above the clouds. Ladies and gentlemen, he began, look around you. He spread his arms. This is the work of human intelligence. A vision, strategy. He paused. No prayers, no fasting, no imaginary help from the sky. Laughter followed, sharp, obedient laughter. Magnus continued, his voice louder now. I built this company with my hands. I am the architect of my own success. Then he said the sentence that would open the door. If there is a God, he should thank me for proving that man does not need him. Somewhere, far beyond glass walls and applause, heaven took note. That night Magnus slept in his mansion. White walls, gold taps, silence that money buys. But sleep did not welcome him kindly. He dreamed. He saw himself standing on a high tower, overlooking the city. The buildings bowed to him. People knelt. His name echoed like thunder. Then suddenly, his clothes fell off. His skin turned rough. His hair grew all over his body. His speech broke into sounds. People ran away in fear. He fell from the tower into thick grass. He tried to scream, but only animal sounds came out. He woke up sweating. His heart raced. Rubbish, he muttered. Just stress. He took sleeping pills. The dream returned, this time clearer, this time longer. When he woke again, his bed was soaked with sweat and fear. For the first time in years, Magnus Deramola was afraid. But pride is a stubborn goat. It does not hear warnings until the rope tightens. Weeks later, strange things started happening. Magnus forgot simple things. Passwords, names, meetings. He shouted at mirrors. He accused staff of plotting against him. At board meetings, he spoke nonsense sometimes. Long speeches that went nowhere. Doctors ran tests. Burnout, they said. Stress, they said. Take a break. But the dreams did not stop. One afternoon, during a live television interview meant to celebrate his success, Magnus froze. The camera rolled. The host waited. Magnus opened his mouth and began to laugh. Not a normal laugh, a wild, broken laugh. Then he stood up, tore his suit jacket, and shouted, "I am the king of this world. I own the skies." Security rushed in. The interview went viral before sunset. Shareholders panicked. The board whispered, and slowly, quietly, the throne began to shake. Magnus was removed temporarily. He fought it, threatened lawsuits, insulted the board, cursed everyone. But power, once it smells weakness, runs away like a thief. He was taken to a private facility. Luxury, yes, but locked. Days turned to weeks. Weeks turned to months. His mind slipped further. Sometimes he crawled on the floor. Sometimes he refused clothes. Sometimes he ate with his hands like an animal. The same man who mocked prayer now muttered to the ceiling. The same mouth that insulted God now could not form sense. Outside, Zion Crest Holdings continued. Without him, a new interim CEO was appointed. Guess who? Joseph, the IT guy Magnus, fired for believing in God. Life has a way of completing sentences for 7 long seasons, longer than years in the heart of a man. Magnus lived in the shadow of himself. No interviews, no applause, no power, just silence. And in that silence, something spoke. Not loudly, not angrily, just truth. One night, Magnus lay on the floor, staring at nothing. Tears came, real tears. Not the type you cry because you lost money. The type you cry because you finally see yourself. "I thought I was everything," he whispered. His voice cracked. "I thought you were nothing." For the first time in his life, Magnus Deramola knelt. There was no audience, no camera, no benefit, just a broken man and a listening God. Healing did not come like lightning. It came like morning, slow, quiet, sure. His mind cleared. His sleep returned. His shame softened. Doctors were shocked. Unexplainable recovery, they said. The board watched carefully. Months later, Magnus stood before them again, not in pride, in humility. "I am not fit to rule as before," he said softly, "but I have learned who truly rules." The board restored him, not as the same man, but a changed one. The first thing Magnus did, he called back those he had fired unjustly. Mama Kemi returned to her desk, with gospel music louder. Joseph remained CEO. Magnus smiled and said, "God knows best." At the company's next anniversary, Magnus took the microphone again. But this time, his voice was different. "I once mocked God," he said, "and God answered me, not with death, but with truth." He paused. "There is a God, and power does not belong to man." Some people cried, some people bowed their heads, some people found courage to believe again. 1. Pride invites downfall faster than enemies do. 2. Power without humility is borrowed time. 3. God does not argue, he demonstrates. 4. Those you mock today may judge your case tomorrow. 5. It is better to bow willingly than to be forced to kneel. As our elders say, the chicken that mocks the hawk forgets the sky is wide. My people, hear this well. God is not threatened by mockery. He is not shaken by pride, but he is faithful to remind every man, you are not him. If this story touched you, taught you, or stirred your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Subscribe, follow, and share so more stories can find hearts that need them. Because stories change minds, and humility saves destinies. Until next time, remember, the higher the throne, the harder the fall unless grace holds you.